Welcome back to Game Devs Play Games, where you can watch games and practice game design.
Hey, today we're playing Herald. This is a game by Wispfire, and it was generously sent to us by the developers. So we're going to check it out. It's a game, I guess technically still in development. You can buy book or chapter, not sure.
I think it was book.
Yeah, you can buy book 1 and 2 right now. And it's only like $10 on Steam. And they're working on a book 3 and 4. And it's an interactive period drama. Which this is totally up your alley, which is why you're doing this one.
Yup. Let's play.
Yeah. So I played only a little bit, so I don't know too much, but I wanted to make sure I knew how the game worked. But I think it's a little hard to see which one you have selected.
Oh, it is really hard. Holy hell.
I think you're on your go up one.
That one. Can I do that one?
Let's just do an empty slot.
I think I'm on an empty slot right now.
One way to find out.
Oh.
Okay, cool.
Not the one I thought I was on.
Okay, yeah, so we'll start from book 1.
Bit of UI troubles from the get-go there.
Yeah, it's mostly just because it's inconsistent, because they have the little, little arrow pointer from the start screen, and then they rely on colors instead, but there's not a drastic difference in the color changes.
It's
from
like
what you're
dim
selecting.
white to whiter white, and
Yeah.
I have really good color vision, and I'm like, I can't see this.
Yeah, it just needs to be a bigger difference.
Of air. Breathless.
Fishes. Sword.
Sword with, the sheath had, what looked like a map on it.
Drifted.
Still kind of hard to hear.
Shapes.
I can turn up a little bit more. So there will be a lot of voiceover in the game, but also a lot of text.
Without a clear distinction of form.
So there's going to be a lot of us not talking and listening instead.
Yeah.
Blinded.
But it worked out for Life is Strange, so.
Yeah.
Until someone or something made me soar. Higher and higher still I went.
I love the art.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. This whole sequence was 2D art. But I feel like I've seen a lot of narrative-based 2D games kind of like this, and I don't know, there's something about the quality of art that always seems to be a little lackluster, but this I see, and it actually, they use, the digital animation thing kind of, and it works. And then
Whoa,
it kinda,
speaking of which.
yeah, now it's in 3D. So the game jumps between 2D and 3D.
I don't believe you.
Oh, and there's some writing.
Yeah, so at this
Now
point I
sit
think
down.
we'll mostly see text whenever people are talking. For whatever reason, though, there's just no text in the intro sequence. I'm like, there should be at least subtitles.
I'm sorry, but you can't leave until you tell me. Where are you from? And what is it that you seek in the colonies?
So you can say...
Ah.
Yeah, so I don't know if this changes. I know that at the very beginning of the game, they say, the choices that you make can change the outcome of the game, which I think is really important for a narrative-focused game, because otherwise you're just doing an interactive, visual novel. And, those are fun in their own regard, but I don't know. If you have the element of interactivity, why not utilize it? So I'm not sure how much
I
this
was born in the
changes, but...
colonies, and I was hoping to find a home here. But so far, the welcome has been somewhat lukewarm.
Do you or do you not swear allegiance to the Lord Protector as a servant of his protectorate?
It does feel like right off the bat we're given a lot of heavy questions, though.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of the point, is that we as the player...
Yes, I am a servant of the Protectorate. Aren't you?
The Protectorate does not own us. The colonies may be inside her sphere of influence, but its people are not. You, on the other hand, were wearing their uniform. The bright blue fabric, The golden stitching? It tells me that you are part of the crew on one of their ships, probably a merchant vessel. The embroidery even says that you are the captain of that ship. Impressive. But what happened to your ship, Captain?
It's interesting because you have to answer without having any information whatsoever.
Yeah, I think that what it does is it sort of sets it up so that you as the player can kind of go down the starting path that interests you
Our
the most.
conversation ends here.
So it lets the player
I'm
tell
done.
themselves the most compelling story that they would find.
Tell me whose journal this is.
When I started playing this, just for this little intro sequence, I chose different answers, and
First, tell me who you are.
it already set up our main character to be in a totally
I
different
am
position.
Rani, and you can address me as such. Now, is this yours or not? It says Devon Rensburg inside. Is that you?
Well, we know that is something for
Alright.
sure.
I'm Devon
Yeah.
Rensburg. And yes, that is mine.
I already know it's yours. I'll give it back to you once you've enlightened me on its contents.
I'm like, who is this girl?
Now read it for me. And remember,
Why do I owe you
I
anything?
expect the truth.
I mean, the interesting thing is that it does list us
Again,
as her
where
prisoner.
are you from? And what is it that you seek in the colonies?
Fine. I'll give you the long version. It's not like I have any choice. I come from the West, born here in the colonies, but raised in the capital of the Protectorate's homeland, a city that never felt like home. I never connected with its people. I was always the outsider. So I decided to leave that place, in search of my roots. I had heard about someone in the harbour recruiting men for a merchant ship sailing to the east. It was a standard trading mission along the Indigo route. I had never worked on a ship before, but enlisting in the merchant navy was the only way for me to acquire passage across the sea. So that's what I did. The recruiter, Aaron Ludlow was his name, took me in a rowing boat out of the harbour. And there she was, his lordship's vessel, Herald.
Roll credits.
So I think it's an interesting setup too, because they start in that whole like, you're in the future now, and then we'll revert to we'll flash back to the past, and we'll go through how you got to this point.
I wish that happened sooner in that conversation, actually. Like, he starts narrating, and I'm like, why are you telling us? You're gonna show us.
Yeah, I agree. I wonder if they felt as though without him giving that little bit of extra context, it'd be confusing, but I don't know. I feel like that naturally kind of comes into
I already
place
forgot
anyway.
what he said.
Yeah,
I'm
I mean,
just
that's
like,
kind of fair.
you're just, because it's just throwing a lot of names and, like, places, and I'm like, this means nothing to me right now.
Right, because we don't have anything to associate
Right.
with it.
So I
My
think
God,
that
Lego.
beginning could have
read
just been a
this?
little shorter,
Yeah, okay.
and
I
it would have
agree
been
with that.
easier to follow.
No, sir, I haven't.
Your people seem to be causing a lot of unrest in the colonies lately.
My people, sir?
His name is different.
Oh, interesting.
Second officer, Aaron Ludlow.
Well,
Hmm.
you know.
Unless that's somebody else, but I don't think it is.
It
I don't
seems
know,
like it's probably
sir.
him.
Is that who he was talking about earlier?
The Indigo farmers. They claim the trade does not benefit them enough. They accuse the Lord Protector of abuse of power and demand fairer wages. The local regent has yet to respond, but I fear he will cave into the pressure.
Is that why we have the politician on board?
Yes, Senator Morton is the regent's brother-in-law, and he's going to help him with the complex politics of this affair. He's also accompanying the regent's daughter safely back to the colonies. Remember to treat both of them with respect.
Sir.
Is there anything else you brought from shore?
Well, apart from the new recruit, a letter, sir, addressed to
Oh,
Senator
I think
Morton.
maybe the new recruit is you.
What are you waiting for?
Oh, I could see that.
But, sir, it's not your...
My ship, my rules, Ludlow. You know this. Besides, I don't think Mr. Morton has anything to hide from me. He better not.
May I remind you he is a Protectorate official, sir.
And so am I.
Oh, yeah.
You there. What do you think, boy? Should I open the letter or not?
Okay, yeah. Oh, he just has curlier hair.
I think, though, that it's important that we didn't actually make any decisions during that discussion, that we only make choices when we are Devon. Or at least as Devon.
Me? Sorry, sir, I didn't...
This is Devon, sir, the new recruit that I picked up in the harbour. Says he wants to work as a sailor aboard the Herald.
So introduced, told the captain my name is Devon, or confirmed that Devon was just fine. Oh, so basically, how do you want
Devon
to
Rensburg, sir.
introduce yourself?
Pleased to meet you, Captain.
I don't want to say sir because I feel like it's too pretentious in this setting, and he's just going to be like some no-name sailor. But I also don't want to say Devon because that gives him permission to treat me lesser. So I'm just going in the middle and saying, you fucking pick, dude.
Captain Cornelius Hendricks. Nice to have you aboard the Herald. Rensburg.
There we go.
I assume you understand that there are rules here. Officer Ludlow will give you the lowdown on them.
Ludlow will give you the lowdown.
Sir, I have other...
But first, Ludlow, I'd like you to find Senator Morton and send him here. I need to talk to him about this letter of his. Be quick about it. I'll send Rensburg off to you in a moment.
Yes, sir. Be sure to see me on deck, Devon.
So then, Rensburg, I take it you must be returning home to your family?
Oh, interesting. So he's like... So the options are in the past tense. So we're still in the context of him telling...
The story.
Yeah. Huh.
Yes, I am, sir. It feels strange to say that, though, since I don't really remember my family. I was adopted. I know my father is a Protectorian, and my mother is originally from the colonies. It won't be easy to find them. That's why I'm writing everything that might help me with my search down in my journal.
Yes. Yes, I see.
He's not paying attention.
I know, right?
You should look at my globe then, Rensburg. As you see, the colonies are very big. You should write it in your journal.
Do you think they're setting him up so that when he dies, we don't
Off
feel
you go
bad
to your
for him?
tour of the ship.
I mean, it's possible.
Or I guess he doesn't have to die
He's
for us
not
to become...
horrible. Like, he wanted this kid's opinion. He calls him Rensburg. He's just... But he's also like, I want to read this dude's letter. And, that's nice, son.
That's true. Yeah, that's
Pat
pretty
on the
fair.
head. That's what that is.
You can interact with the world with the... Oh, whoa. Huh.
Oh. Why right trigger? Why not A?
There was
I know, right? Maybe it's because it's like...
The ornate rooster
I
on
don't know,
top stretched his wings
left,
out
right
over
click.
the world, as if protecting it.
Get a notification every time. Just down in the D-pad to open the journal. Okay. That's kind of nice. So after Captain welcomed me on board the Herald, I was to follow Officer Ludlow to tour the ship. You're not carrying any items. And then that's just your objective.
Okay.
Alright, simple enough. Map shows all the locations you've already visited. Encyclopedia contains information about the world of Herald. The page contains your current task.
Oh. And now we live back.
Oh, I see.
How do you get out of here?
Pull right trigger. Okay, cool. So maybe... Yeah, do you have to make your actions with the cursor, or do you think you can actually do it with your person?
Oh, I don't... Did you get this far when you were looking at stuff?
No, I didn't play around with this area at
The
all.
captain's newspaper lay open on his desk. colony unrest, it said. The rest was too difficult to read from a distance.
I see. So it's kind of like to interact with something, maybe you use Devon and to just observe
the paper
things.
stand on the captain's desk was filled with letters stamped with a protectorate seal. Cornelis Hendricks seemed to be an important man.
Yeah, I wonder how much they'll utilize the information that we can gather just from looking around at things. Because it kind of sets it up for like an investigation kind of setup. Reminds me a lot of The Wolf Among Us. But Wolf Among Us was obviously like, it was geared to be noir-ish. So it had a lot of context for that, but who knows what'll happen.
I don't know what to do.
Maybe try selecting the door with the cursor? Like the door on the right side? Or the stairs?
Nope. Ah.
Oh, okay, so we do have to use the cursor. That's a little counterintuitive.
Like, why? Here's my thoughts.
Oh.
Either
well,
you...
I would assume he's reading your letter right now, Mr. Morton.
I would assume you either exclusively walk around with the joystick or you use the cursor, one or the other.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like when you actually physically interact with something, like going up the stairs, it would make more sense to do that with Devon, like his character.
Yeah.
And I think I like the cursor mechanic to actually observe things, but it shouldn't be both. I guess maybe in the context of like keyboard and mouse, that might be the idea why they went that route.
Right.
But then you can argue the point of, well, what's the point of having us move around?
Yeah. This guy looks so bored.
Yeah.
Also, so he's mourning this dude that guy's reading his letter.
I sincerely
Oh.
hope you're joking.
I love how he looks like a villain and he has that voice.
He's even got kind of that like
on the
undershot
contrary,
kind of
sir.
look and like underlit.
At sea, the captain makes his own rules. As far as I can tell, our captain is king on the Herald, sir. The crew, his loyal subjects.
Officer, there are several reasons why the people got rid of the king back in the day. This is precisely the sort of thing that led us to abolish the monarchy. I'm going to have a word with Captain Hendricks now. Please carry on.
He totally has the like evil schemer kind of voice too.
Go to the weather deck. I assume that's this.
I love this guy steering the boat though, like not looking. Oh, I guess he's looking forward because the
Where
steer
is
is in
my-
the back. Huh.
I just want to press A.
I was quite often tempted to take over the wheel and sail us on a random course towards adventure, but that wouldn't have been a smart move.
No shit, Devon. That's how you get thrown overboard.
Right. Captain may seem a bit gruff sometimes, but he's a good man. Cares about his crew. Is that like something he just said to us?
Yeah.
Oh. So I guess there's not VO for every little bit,
Not
which
one,
I think
but
that's
two
totally
large
fine.
ornate compasses stood on the poop deck near the ship's wheel. Protectorate design seems to favor perfect symmetry.
Meow, meow, meow.
I always kind of liked that in some of these games like this, that they don't always have VO for every single interaction because it helps give this distinction of what's an important conversation and what's kind of just there. Like, not that it's superfluous, but
The
it's
bilge
like
pump on the weather deck
not
is used every day.
going to change
Even in
anything
good weather,
significant.
Some water tends to end up below decks.
That, Devon, was Senator Lewis Morton. Did you see the look on his face when I told him the captain opened his letter? Pure agony.
Huh.
He would
I
have
probably
found
would have
out
done the
sooner
same.
or later anyway.
Well, yeah, I think they're in the wrong.
People have a hard time adjusting to life outside the capital. On the open sea, the rules tend to change, but customs don't change with them. Mr. Morton is a prime example of that, and you will probably experience the same. The trick, though, is to accept change. It's something that people like Morton will never understand. But you might.
Excuse you want change? Thought I could accept change. Didn't like change either. I feel like they
there's
offer you the
anything
middle
I want,
option a lot
it's
in this
change.
game.
I'm
To
picking the
finally
first
be able
one.
to do
I
things
mean, he
differently
left
for a
to
while.
go to the colonies.
That's true, yeah.
I'm done with the old rules.
There's a reason I picked you from the lot. I rarely choose anybody who is unfit for a life at sea. Now for your tour. Welcome aboard His Lordship's vessel, Herald.
Yay!
Yeah. Yeah, do you think that they should
A Cromwellian
offer a
class
middle
protectorate
ground
clipper
option, or do you
launched in
think that it's better that they
1851.
do?
What do you mean?
So, like, that last option, for example, where they're like, I like change a lot. I don't know, I might be okay with change, or I don't like change. Having that, like, it might be
I think that's an active choice to be.
in the middle.
Yeah, I think especially in a game where it seems like there's gonna be some politicking going on, being able to be neutral is important and
So-
strategic.
So, how... okay, yeah, actually, I totally agree with that. I think then maybe the important thing it comes down to is making sometimes that middle ground the optimal choice. Because in a lot of games like this, especially, this has been a common trend with a lot of narrative-based games in the last, like, 5 or so years. A lot of those games have been cutting out the middle option, basically saying, like, you have to pick a side.
Oh,
And using that to make players feel uneasy and being like, I guess I'm going to be a bad guy today. And I think the reason that a lot of those games started doing that is because oftentimes the middle ground option led to the least fulfilling experience. So, I don't think that necessarily has to be the case. So that's probably where I'm most interested to see how well they utilize that in Herald. Because I even talked about this in the Wolf Among Us with Tony, is I love using the silent option. And sometimes I just wish that people would make the silent option the optimal choice and not just the I refuse to answer choice.
right.
As one of the fastest sailing ships in the mercantile fleet, she can reach a top speed of 18 knots. During her short life, she has already set multiple records sailing to the colonies and back along the famous Indigo route.
Records Harold had broken, wondered if this is some kind of joke. Woohoo! I wanted to know how fast 18 knots was.
What records did she break?
Several speed records, of which the most important one was the race against the DeWitt-class clipper HLV Crowing. The Herald beat her by 3 days on a return voyage from the colonies to the capital. She set a record time of 78
He's super
days,
happy.
5
He's showing
hours,
his
and
teeth now.
16
I know,
minutes.
right?
Now let's move on to the deckhouse.
Cool. Well, we are over time, so should we call it here and come back to this in
Yeah.
the next episode?
Tutorial continues.
Tutorial continues. Although maybe we're beyond the tutorial at this point, but still getting kind of like an exposition type of deal.
Yeah.
So question of the day, do you want to talk about that intro sequence? The one that you were saying should be a little bit shorter, or do you think we should talk about how they introduced characters in the world to us?
Well, what's your specific questions? I think it depends on what the specific questions are.
I guess maybe if we were to talk about the world, that was weird. If we were talking about the world and characters, I'd say my question is, what are they doing that's making the characters most memorable right off the bat?
Oh, that's a good one.
Because
Let's go with that.
that's one of the hardest things to do, especially in a heavy narrative with a lot of characters. And this is where I'll struggle in literature sometimes, but like we have the benefit of visuals. So yeah, what are they doing to help reinforce these characters and help the player remember who they are?
Yeah.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Well, thanks for watching, everyone. Be sure to check out Herald, and we'll come back in the next episode with some more. Bye.